Is your music playlist feeling a bit repetitive lately? Need some fresh new tracks to liven things up? I've got some awesome new song recommendations to help get you out of that listening rut. Hello, I'm Scripps. I'm here to talk about some great new artists and albums that just dropped. I've got something awesome to share with you today. Riverside released their 8th studio album, ID, Entity. Have you ever listened to a Polish band? I'm guessing most people haven't. I can't think of any famous Polish bands off the top of my head either. But there are some good ones out there like Riverside, a Polish progressive rock band formed in 2001. When you think of progressive rock, who are the big names that come to mind? Classic bands from the 70s like Pink Floyd, Genesis or King Crimson? For some, those legendary groups define the genre. But for those of us born in the 90s and beyond, we might think of a more modern pioneer. That's right, it's Dream Theater. They're the original progressive metal band for younger generations. Dream Theater has been one of the leading lights of progressive metal. Dream Theater was once the fresh, innovative face of progressive metal. But over time, it feels like they've become stuck in their ways, almost a relic of the past. Their recent albums just don't excite me anymore. It's the same old Dream Theater. And I worry other classic prog rock bands are falling into the same trap, just endlessly repeating themselves without bringing anything new to the table. My expectations for innovation in the genre have faded. It seems like progressive rock has already given all it has to give, with its influence now absorbed into many other genres. I knew there was a band from Poland called Riverside, but I didn't really pay them much attention before. I had listened to them briefly once or twice, but they didn't leave much of an impression. The only thing I really remembered about Riverside was that the cover art for their 4th album looked very futuristic and cool. But as I listened through some of the new albums released this year, I was surprised when I came across the first track on Riverside's latest release. The retro-sounding keyboards had a freshness I wasn't anticipating. After that intriguing opening, I was eager to hear what the next song would bring. Amazingly, after just the first song, I didn't even recognize this was the same Riverside I was loosely familiar with already. The music felt so far removed from the cliched, complex progressive rock metal formula, I'd grown tired of hearing rehashed over and over again. You know the kind, with odd song structures and overly complex writing. Riverside's new music felt crisp and clear. At moments, I could even imagine it on pop radio. That's the beauty of this band. They're not trying so hard to distance themselves from accessibility and popularity like, hey, we're prog, so we have to be 20,000 miles away from anything mainstream. Instead, Riverside weaves a slight progressive spin on more digestible song arrangements. The writing is focused without clutter, but that's not to say there's no depth. The songs are just so well balanced. Prog fans will still love it. The opening track, Friend or Foe, features a synth melody and bass line that evoke the lush romantic sounds of 80s synth pop pioneers like a-ha. This nostalgia actually makes the song feel sensual and unsophisticated. After the first song's casual intro, the groovy bass line on track 2, Landmine Blast, quickly reminds you this is still a progressive rock group with hints of bands like Tool. The infectious bass builds up tension as it anchors the song. From Big Tech Brother to Post-Truth, songs 3 and 4, I'm starting to get a taste of Riverside's unique brand of prog development. There's a sense these guys can put real lyrical weight into the songs. To me, track 5, The Place Where I Belong, best captures Riverside's identity on this album. Lyrical, dynamic, emotional, and nostalgic all in one. Yet, as I said, it's not esoteric or inaccessible. The songwriting remains catchy and relatable. The last 2 tracks, I'm Done With You and Self-Aware, are similarly attractive songs with sticky hooks, along with the opener, Friend or Foe. No wonder those 3 were made into music videos, alright? Now then, let's dive into some of the highlights.
In the mix. In the mix.
Update, upload. Oh, are you fake or real? Are you friend?
ID Entity is clearly a progressive rock album with a distinct narrative. But ironically, the more I enjoy this record, the more I find myself wishing some of the melodies were a bit more infectious and mainstream catchy. With some tweaks, I think this could have been an even stronger release. The ideas are great, but it doesn't fully get there in terms of pop appeal. That said, if you're someone who has grown tired and jaded with traditional prog, I'd still highly recommend giving this album a listen. Compared to many prog releases, there's a freshness and clarity to Riverside's sound here that I think you'll find refreshing. For me, it reawakened my interest in what the genre can offer. Finally, I'm ready to give this record a final shelf life rating. It's going to be 1 minute. So for now, I'm Scripps. See you in the next review.